We got some stuff to talk about. What a day of sumo. What a day of sumo. Not only the matches, but obviously the big announcement today. So let's just you saw the thumbnail. This is my one signed Fuji card. This is from the 2021 set, card number 5 of 90 that was included in that set. And at this point, he was he Yokozuna yet? I don't think so. I think he was still an Ozeki. Uh, yeah, I'd have to go back and check. But anyway, there he is announcing his retirement today. So, if you're not really into any sumo media like Twitter or any group, and you don't watch the coverage before you come and watch this show, you may not have heard, but Fuji, the Yokozuna, the 73rd Yokozuna, announcing his retirement today after pulling out of the tournament yesterday on day 5, announcing today on day 6. Probably a press conference tomorrow or Sunday on day 7 or 8. If you're a Patreon member, I'll try to have some of that footage for you over on the Patreon. Uh, yeah, not out of the blue by any means. We all knew it was coming at some point. We knew 2025 was going to be the year. Didn't necessarily think it was going to go like this. So interested to hear more about it. And let's get started on all that we're going to talk about today. So I hope you're having a good Friday. Didn't have to go to work today, so that was kind of nice. I got to watch lots of sumo. Let's just start over on Tachiai. So they, as always, Andy and the group over there had a nice article about the retirement of the Yokozuna. So you can find out a little bit about what his plans are, how it works. He's got 5 years to kind of make up his mind about, does he want to have his own stable? There is the announcement from the official Sumo Twitter account that he is retiring. And then down here, there he is. So did they already have the press conference? Ooh, maybe I missed it. Okay. I thought maybe it would be tomorrow, but anyway, whatever I can share with you, I'll share with you. They didn't really show anything. I literally watched Juryo matches up until the final match, and then they have the dohyo iri and everything. And so I stepped aside, went to the bathroom. I think I played a little Yahtzee on my iPad for a few minutes, and I came back in because I knew I didn't need to see the first 2 or 3 matches of the top division. And as soon as I got back, like there was somebody from Isegahama Stable fighting. Maybe it was Hakuoho. And Murray Johnson on the play-by-play was like, well, he'll want to win today to honor his Yokozuna who retired. And I'm like, what? When? So I don't know, when everything went down, but they've got this labeled at 3:39 p.m., which is obviously right about that in-between time between the end of Juryo and the beginning of Makuuchi. It certainly felt like that's when the news got dropped, but this might have I don't know. Maybe there is a whole press conference but they didn't show any clips from it. The whole rest I watched all the rest of the day's sumo. Anyway, like I said, this is just him just saying, hi, I'm retiring. Thank you for cheering for me all these years. I plan to stay in sumo. You can watch that over there on the Touchy Eye page as well. That got retweeted a lot in my feed. Yeah. So, and then they go into what happened to Makuuchi. So go over to Touchy Eye, and if you leave a comment, tell them Jason sent you. And yeah, just in not incredible news, but unexpected, I would say. I thought he might wait until the end of the Basho to see what the Hoshoru situation is, but nope, he's decided that's it. So we'll look at him a little bit more later. What else should we talk about? So, thinking about that, I went over onto YouTube and I put up this poll. If Hoshoru continues to win and can win the U show, should he be considered for promotion to Yokozuna? Oh, that should be a question mark, not a thingy. If so, what should his minimum winning record be? Because a lot of people are saying, yes, he can be considered, but he has to get a 14-1. or he has to get a 13-2. Anything less than a 13-2, then no. Obviously a 15-0, a Zen show, you show is out. He's already got one loss. So I'm curious what you guys think. Is winning the U show enough? Let's say he wins the U show with a 12-3. Is that good enough? Or are you in the camp, and this is completely legit thought too? Nope, no runner up, and then you know a U show where he doesn't even have to fight Terunofuji either time. He has to win two U show in a row. If he wins now in January, that's great. But then he's got to win it again in March, just like Asashoru had to do and Hakuho had to do. So yeah, uh, the chairman of the Sumo Association, Hakaku Oyakata, has stated, or he did state publicly at the beginning of the tournament, that if Hoshoru wins the Yusho, he would get promoted. Now, he didn't mention a number, and at that point, we had no idea that Kotozakura wasn't going to be hot on his heels the whole time. So it's a different situation now, but we'll see. So I'm curious what you guys think. Go over there and vote in that poll. Uh, it should come up on the homepage in the community tab, and you should be able to see it, and everyone can vote on it. Okay, over on Patreon, obviously I started a new collection. This is days 6 through 10. So this is uh, today's rundown, and we'll talk a little bit about why I had to do a 6.6B and a 6.6A for the Kotozakura Atami Fuji match. There is the Hoshoru match, the two Sekewake matches, the Komusubi clash, the Oho Tobizaru match. Oho is just on fire, man. And I put in a couple Juryo matches, both Ukrainians, Shishi and Aonishiki, in one video. All right. What I want to do, and I'm going to stop share for just a minute. What I want to do is encourage some of you, because about 2,000 of you watch this video, this Sumo Summary Show, usually within 24 hours between when I post it and the next day. That's great. I love the fact that 2,000 of you are coming by, enjoying the content, and invested in sumo. But obviously, I don't have 2,000 people signed up to Patreon, and I'm kind of right near a nice number that I'd like to get to. I need about 10 more people to sign up. And I think I'll have 700 people, or yeah, I think that's right. So to do that, I just want to throw out an incentive for 1 week from now Friday to next Friday. So you'd be all set for the final weekend from the 17th to the 24th of January. I'm going to offer a slightly better discount than normal if you want to sign up for Patreon. And that's it. I don't want to make it too crazy because I want to honor what everybody else is paid. So what they allow me to do now that I've been on the site for a while is offer a discount. So it's 15% off the first month, which is not a big deal because it's only $1 a month if you sign up for the cheap. So you're saving 15 cents. But if you sign up for the whole year, instead of 10% off, which is the normal discount, you can get 15% off, right? So whatever 15% off of $12 is. And then if you want to support me at one of the higher tiers, that's great too. I really appreciate it. The code to put in is JAN 2025, and I'll put all this down in the description. So go over there, sign up. Even if you just want to sign up for 1 month and pay 85 cents and then cancel, at least you would get to watch the rest of this tournament, right? So I just want to encourage you to take advantage, and watch sumo with me over on Patreon because, I read your comments. I know a lot of you are disappointed that this channel doesn't show matches anymore. I just can't over here on YouTube. And I know there's lots of other options for you to watch sumo nowadays, way different than when my channel started. There's all these Twitch streams and people that, stream the Abema feed, and whether they get taken down or not. I know Nato runs around and has to invent other places to be and stuff so his stuff can go up. My stuff is fairly consistent. They're leaving me alone over on Patreon. We've got a good group over there. It's not that big. So yeah, like I said, just a little extra incentive to go over there, try it out. Like I said, even if you just sign up for 1 month for 85 cents and you get to watch the rest of the bus show and then cancel if you want. But I know there's tons of streaming services out there asking for your money. Uh, but if you're a big sumo fan, I really do think it's worth your while to go over there and join us on Patreon. Okay, spiel over. Let's get back into it. Uh, okay, so yeah, let's just jump into it. So absent Rikshi today, obviously. Terunofuji was yesterday. Roga came back, so nobody new today in the top two divisions. So how did we do on day six? Let's start down in Juryo. Boom, 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 boom. Wow, Daishoho 0-6 at the very bottom ranked Juryo 14. So he's going back down to Makushita for sure. Waka Ikari beat the sole leader, Hakuyozan. So that was a big match today. So both men are now 5-1. There is now nobody undefeated down in Juryo. Everybody has at least one loss. So Waka Ikari is a young guy. Look at that, 2005 birthday. So he is gonna be 20 in about a month in February. So he's 19 right now. And he was Juryo 13 last tournament and got a 7-8, and they let him stay. But now he is just eating it up down there. So congrats to him for really finding a way to changing his headspace, his regimen, whatever it is, and now he is really doing well. He is out of Issei Naomi stable. Let's see who he trains with. Nishikigi is his senpai up in the Makuuchi, and then him, and then a bunch of guys below them. So it's a small stable, but yeah, he's having a great tournament so far. All right. Let's see. Oshomi went to 5-1 by beating Hatsuyama. Tochi Taikai 4-2, very respectable. These guys are both now 4-2. Tomokaze was 4-1, but he lost. Fujiseun got another win. And these are the two matches I had on Patreon. Shishi went to 5-1 by beating Shimanoumi, who's 0-6. Aonishiki went to 5-1 by beating Shiden, who's at 1-5. So both of these guys are on the leaderboard. Asakoru took care of Tsurugisho, who really does look like he should just hang it up. He's 33, 34, 33. Yeah, he'll be 34 this year, which is not terribly old, but he's never gone below Juryo or Makuuchi in the past 4 or 5 years. So well, I mean, he's at Juryo 3, so it's hard to say how far he would go down. Obviously, right now he's got no wins. So where is he? I'm sorry. Oh, I'm in the top division. That's why, Jason. Come on now. Okay. So there he is, Juryo 3-0-6. Let's say he finds a way to get it. He looked terrible. I mean, he looked like he had Asakoru is so much smaller than him, and he had no defense. Um, so I mean, if he had to go Kyujo and actually pull out of the tournament and get no wins once he hits 8 losses, then I definitely think he'd be demoted all the way out down to Makushita, the third tier division. If he can get even just 2 or 3 wins, he might be enough to only be demoted down to, say, Juryo 14. And then he really has to make the decision. But I think that not being a Sekitori anymore, not being a salaried wrestler, getting demoted back down to the third tier division might be his limit to where he says, okay, I got to retire. But anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And who knows, he might turn things around and start to get a few wins, but he did not look good today. Ryuden did look good, went to 5-1 by beating Sadanaumi. Kaio beat Shirokuma, the white bear, who's now 4-2. So we'll look at the total Juryo leaderboard in just a moment. Up in the top division, we started with Kitanowaka getting a win over Toki Hayate. Kim Bozan, another guy who's just really been impressive this tournament. The man from Kazakhstan in Kisebeya. He trains with Ura and Chirana Umi. And oh, I was thinking of Chio. Yeah, no. I was about to say he's undefeated too, but I'm thinking of a different wrestler. And then down in Juryo, Shiden, Shimana Umi, Hidena Umi. So these are all guys that have all been in the top division. So he's got a good group around him. And yeah, just on fire right now, undefeated. Never had that kind. He had four in a row here in November when he was the Juryo Division champion down in Juryo. And then yeah, he really hasn't started that well in the top Maegashira. But down in Maegashira 14, he is just doing great. And he hasn't really had to fight, like he hasn't fought Hakuoho yet. He hasn't fought Takeda Fuji, but he has Toki Hayate tomorrow, so probably another win there, I would guess. And then he'd be going for Kachikoshi on Sunday, so just great news for him. Tamashoho in his debut got a second win over Shonan Naomi, who's also now 2-4. He's got to get a bunch more if he wants to stay in the top division. Nishiki Fuji went to 3-3, beating Koto Shoho. Onokatsu 3-3. Hakuoho lost. So, he's also, way down at Maegashira 15. He could probably get away with a 7-8 if it's a losing record, but a 6-9 would be a little precarious. So we'll see if he can get the wins he needs. We hope he gets Kachikoshi, right? Nishikigi went to 4-2 after losing to Meisei. Here is Kim Bozan's partner in his stable, Chirana Umi, now 2-4 after losing to Takeda Fuji today, who is 5-1. One off the pace of Kim Bozan, who's undefeated. Oshoma went to 4-2, beating Midori Fuji. Midori Fuji puts up a great fight in every single match, and he just cannot buy a win this tournament. So he is at 1-5. Tamawashi, his first loss today, the Maegashira 10 losing to Takara Fuji, who's now 2-4. This head-to-head is ginormous. Takayasu getting a third win over Roga, who really, I don't know why he came back. He just doesn't look up to it, but he's going to try and get a few wins, I guess. But basically 0-6 right now. Takayasu 3-3. Endo went to 3-3 by beating Ichi Yamamoto. Chiyoshoma continues his impressive run up at M5, undefeated. Still beat Mitake Umi today, who's now 2-4. Hirada Umi went to 2-4 by beating Ura, who's now 2-4. Still gets a huge amount of applause. Uh, and then these are the matches I started to have on the Patreon today. Oho taking care of Tobizaru was a great match. Oho, I want Hoshoto to win. I think we need another Yokozuna. Um, but if he can't win, I hope Oho wins this U show because he is just putting up some great sumo. His sumo today was fantastic. So definitely watch those matches if you can. Then we had a Komusubi clash, Wakatake Kage versus Abi. And Wakatake Kage basically pulled a Henka. A Henka, for those of you who don't know, is like kind of when you jump to the side suddenly at the Tachiai and you avoid the initial contact. It's a perfectly legal maneuver, strategic maneuver, and he used it well today to avoid Abi and who went crashing down to the clay. He's now 4-2, Wakatake Kage 3-3. Man, Wakamoto Haru, though, his brother, 1-4, the Sekewake losing to Takanosho today, who's just getting his very first win of the tournament at M1. Then Kirishima beat Daisho. This was a good match. Kirishima 3-3 now. So he's kind of like he lost three in a row from day one, and then now he's won three in a row. So hopefully he's on an upward trajectory and will keep winning. Daisho, the Sekewake now 4-2. Then we get into our three Ozeki matches with no Terunofuji. It just rotates. Hoshoru was up first. He beat Gonoyama with very little fuss or muss. He's now 5-1. He has a much harder opponent tomorrow, which you'll see when I go down the Torikumi for day 7. And then we get to Koto Zakura versus Atami Fuji. Okay, so I kind of wish I had footage or something. You just pay the 85 cents, go over and watch the Patreon video. So it they fought the Ozeki and Atami Fuji, right? Atami Fuji's fresh off that win over Hoshoru yesterday. Kotozakura is kind of lackluster. And Atami Fuji has him. He's got his belt grip. He's taking him out. Kotozakura goes up on the straw bales, and there's five judges around the dohyo, right, in those black robes, and the black judge, he's not black, the judge in the black, sitting right there where their feet are, raises his hand to indicate that Kotozakura foot went outside the dohyo, and so the Gyoji points immediately, see the hand go up, points immediately to Atami Fuji as the winner. And the guys are like, okay, well, it's over. So Kotozakura stops fighting. And, then he steps out and Atami Fuji, and they go back to their corner. But there's a Mono E. We got to check. And when they check, they notice there's no divot in the sand. And they check the footage, and you can see it's really hard to see, but I left the video on my channel because in the slow-mo and everything, you can see his foot is on the top of the straw bale, and it looks like maybe it's going to go and touch the sand, but it never does. And then he pushes back in. So it was a case where the match really wasn't over because he didn't step out, but he got called for stepping out, so they had to call a rematch. I don't know that I've ever seen that before in my 20 years of watching sumo, where a side judge ends the match because he's like, "Oh, it's over," and then he made a mistake. So now they have to have a rematch. So I think that was fair, though. I mean, I don't know how else could you call it? So Natami Fuji and Kotozakura line up again. Now, there's questions of stamina and endurance and everything, and Natami Fuji wins, which was kind of good because he kind of was going to win the time where, the hand went up because he was pretty much going out. But at that moment, he hadn't gone out. So to be fair, I think Kotozakura deserved a second chance, but Tommy Fuji ended up getting the win. Okay, so I ended up with two videos because over on Patreon there's a 10-minute time limit. So I was getting like 9 minutes, and they still hadn't started the rematch, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to start a new video. So it looks really weird over there, and I apologize for spoilers, but there's just no other way I could do it. So Itami Fuji ends up going to 2-4, and Kotozakura now is 1-5. So not only is he obviously, nowhere near getting any kind of promotion or anything, he might not even get Kachikoshi at this point and be Kadoban in March. So now the question is, will he stay in the tournament? Or if he loses a couple more over the weekend and he goes to 6 or 7 losses, will he pull out of the tournament Kyujo? Questions, questions. We don't know, but he certainly looked terrible today. Okay, Shodai versus Onosato in the final match of the day, and Shodai actually put up a pretty good fight, but Onosato was able to get the win to go to 3-3, and Shodai is now 2-4. All right, exciting stuff. So let's go over to the tournament leaders. So these are the only three guys that are still undefeated. They're all obviously in the Maegashira ranks. There's no more Daisho, there's no more Hoshoru. Oho, who hasn't fought Hoshoru yet. Chiyoshoma and Kimbozan. And then they don't actually list all the guys who are 5-1, but there's a bunch of them. I'd say 6 or 7 of the people one off the pace. Down in Juryo, 6 guys all tied at 5-1 for first place at the moment. Ryuda and Shishi, Aonishiki, Oshomi, Hakuyozan, and Waka Ikari. So quite a competition going on down there. And I'll have a few of those matches over on Patreon Saturday and Sunday. Uh, Enho, for those of you who are interested, won today. So he is, let's see, do I have any easy way to get to him? Nope. Jump in real quick. Go to Isegahama, Hakuoho. Uh-oh. Come on. There we go. and Enho. So, yep, he fought today, got a win, so he's now 2-1. He has another match tomorrow, so it's weird that they give him like 2 days off and then they fight 2 days. Usually there's kind of a day in between, but every now and then they pair him up. So, yep, if he wins, gets Kachikoshi, which is just 4 wins in this division, 4-3 or a 5-2, or he could even go 6-1. He should be promoted up to the third tier division for the March tournament. So that's good news. All right. So let's look at tomorrow, day 7. Oh, we'll hear it real quick. Just we can jump into the standings. So there I am. My team gained a little bit. I'm still tied for 11th if you want to look at, but I've only got 149 of you ahead of me now. I had about 200 of you ahead of me before. So some of you dropped or, my team did okay today. Um, but as we go toward the top, only one person in first place, Rick, only one person in second place, Norseman, and only one person in third place. This is unusual. Sol Swolzeki. And then 9 people tied for fourth. So yeah, it's interesting. I mean, Rick has got the big group here. Hoshoru, Daisha with 4. He could have Abi, Oho with 6, Chiyoshima with 6, Kimbozan with 6, and Takeda Fuji with 5. So good picking, Rick. Um, and interesting that he has his tiebreaker is Takeda Fuji. So that is what's happening over in the contest. You can click on the link down in the description if you want to see that list for yourself and find where you are. Okay, back to day 7. Let's start down in Juryo. So what am I going to have on the channel maybe? Oh, I might do these two here. Oshomi's 5-1, Aonishki's 5-1. Asakoru versus Ryuden could be a good matchup. No interest in Shiden versus Surugisho. Shishi has Kaio. Maybe I'll just do the last two here. Shishi and Shirokuma. Maybe I'll do a couple. But yeah, still anyone's game down in Juryo. Lots of guys tied for first place down there. Then up to the top division, Hakuoho starts things off against the debut man, Tamashoho. Kimbozan fights Toki Hayate fairly early in the day. What do we got? Tamawashi at 5-1 has Nishikigi 4-2. Takeda Fuji versus Oshoma. Probably put those two on the channel tomorrow. That's a good back-to-back one I can make. Chiyoshoma 6-0 has Roga. So unless something cataclysmic happens, Chiyoshoma should go to 7-0 tomorrow. Endo Hiradaumi. Ura has Ichi Yamamoto. Tobizaru has Shodai, and then we get into our top ranked guys. Wakataka Kage Kirishima. It's a fun matchup. Both men are 3-3. Abi Takenosho. Sekewake Wakamoto Haru against the other Sekewake. So we had a Komusubi clash today. Tomorrow we have the Sekewake clash. You got to think Daisho's probably going to take that one. Ono Sato against Itami Fuji. So he's fought 2 Yokozuna. Hoshoru yesterday, Kotozakura today. Won both. If he can beat Onosato tomorrow, what a string of wins. Even though he'll only be 3-4, what a confidence booster that would be. Then this is the whole shooting match, guys, right here, I think. Oho versus Hoshoru. Huge matchup tomorrow. Huge Yusho implications. 6-0 Oho versus 5-1 Hoshoru. You don't want to miss it. I, of course, will have it on the channel for you. And then kind of the denouement, is that how you say the falling action after the climax is Kotozakura here against Gonoyama in the oh yeah, there's one more match to go match. Because it's all about this Hoshoru Oho matchup here in the penultimate match tomorrow on day 7. Wow. Okay. So let's see. Anything else? I think I covered everything up there. Talked about the poll standings. Yep. I think that'll do it for me tonight, guys. And it's not too late. It's 9:48 p.m., so hopefully I'll get this up uh fairly soon. Oh, there is one more thing. Tomorrow, I'm gonna do this show, the Sumo Summary Show for day 7, Saturday the 18th live. So I'll put the link up. So look for it. It's gonna be like a live stream on YouTube. You can leave comments, interact with me, interact with each other. Um, After I post the Patreon videos, then I'll come on. Hey Siri, stop. Sorry about that. It's reminding me to go look at my laundry.
There's nothing playing.
Talking to me. Okay. So come by. I think I'm gonna start it at 11:30 p.m. my time, which is kind of afternoon, Saturday afternoon for Europe, and pretty early in the morning Saturday. I won't lie if you're on the west coast of the United States, but if you're on the east coast or in Canada, or on, that side of Canada, North America, it's not so bad. I think it's like about 9:30 a.m. You can look it up. Uh, so come by, have a chat, and the big thing is if you're in if you entered the giveaway for the t-shirt or the old calendar, I'm going to randomly pick those numbers live on the stream and announce the winners because I'd like to mail those two prizes next week when I have some time on next Wednesday. I've got to go to the post office, so that'd be great. So if you entered either of those, if you don't know about it, look for the links down in the description. You can go read about it, but I'm giving away a really big 5XL shirt. I got an extra one by mistake. And I'm giving, every year in January, I give away my old calendar. And actually, I'm going to give away two because Mara always offers up hers, and people like to get it to cut it up, maybe to make decorations out of. I don't know what they do with it, but it's up to them what they do with it. But a bunch of you want it, like 100 people signed up, so a random number pick to determine who gets that. And yeah, so that'll all be happening in the live stream tomorrow night. So hopefully that'll be fun for some of you if you can make it over onto YouTube. Come join us. Hopefully, we'll get 20 or 30 people. It's never a big crowd. In the chat room, and we can you can ask me questions. We can talk about Teruno Fuji, what else I've learned about him after I read through all the stuff on Twitter and everything going on. And oh, the most exciting thing. I got my boxes today. So I pre-ordered them. So today is the release date. And of course, I live in Japan. So they came. Look at that goodness. And yep, 8,000 yen for 20 packs. And I bought three. So I'm going to open two. I'm going to do an unboxing video in February, just as kind of something to tide you over until we get to the next boss show. And then I'll give away a box as a prize for the contest either this time or March. And the second box will hopefully just help me complete my set. There's a bunch of fun autographs in here. There's sparkly cards. So if you're into sumo cards at all, watch for that unboxing video. It's going to be coming up soon. But yeah, it's exciting to get that. So really happy those came today. Okay, guys, that'll do it. Take care of yourselves. Big day of sumo tomorrow, especially that Oho Hoshoryu match. And come on back for the live stream tomorrow night. Okay, peace.